What's up, guys? It's McVey here with full event picks and predictions for UFC 317. It's finally here. International Fight Week. We've been waiting for it. And we'll get into the first fight between two random ghosts. Just kidding, of course. They are two random people that ESPN couldn't get a picture of. They couldn't even ask for a Snapchat selfie. We'll make it quick because these people are actually nobodies. Christopher Ewert. Okay, I've watched both of these guys' fights because big card. Come on, got to prepare for it. Christopher Ewert, guy from Chile. He fought this guy. I can't remember his actual name, but I follow him on TikTok, Baby Goose. I thought he was gonna be something to look like an explosive guy. Christopher Ewert beat him, so I was on to nothing with who I thought was going to be good. But he beat him, and in a slightly unimpressive way. I didn't like it too much. And when you look at a lot of his highlights on YouTube, they're a lot in the same way, a lot of kind of blitzing forward, not lazy, but there's a lot of fat still on his combinations. And we're talking about an E5 entry-level fighter, so of course there's going to be, but a lot of fat still on his combos. It's like kind of, when he throws his straight, you can tell the difference between a really good straight and a really lazy straight, because a good straight, it should be halfway by the time you even recognize they're throwing a straight, versus a guy leaning already into it before the fucking arm has left his body. You see Christopher Ewert, there's a lot of those. And now, I'm not saying they don't work at all. They work a lot, especially with his style, kind of fucking wading forward with his big goofy head, right? He's kind of like a big blocky overall guy, while Jackson McVey is a very lanky guy, very different builds. But it'll come into play with what I'm saying in a sec. But Christopher Ewert kind of wades forward, lands these straights, kind of not blitzing like in a karate way, but like blitzing in a big ogre oaf way. He'll get you tied up, get you against the fence, got you covering up, and then when he gets you in the clinch, he'll go for a lot of elbows. That's his big style of a lot of quick, like 2-piece kind of combination, just getting you cover up, doing a little more damage, having you reactive, defensive, and not countering as much just because it's pressure style. We'll get to Hyder and Amil later. Who's going to win, by the way? I've seen a lot of MMA YouTubers not picking him. But Jackson McVey, what I like about his style and why I'm going to be picking him, lots of knees. When he gets in that clinch, he's not just sitting there and waiting. He's going for the biggest shots possible. He's trying to wrap around a tie clinch ASAP, go for big knees to the head and to the body. Does not discriminate where they go at all. And see, now the elbows could be work, but elbows versus knees, like, it's really whoever has better clinch control. And I've seen Jackson McVey have a lot more time working. I know one guy's 6-0, one guy's 7-0. It's pretty hard to tell. But what I've seen from Jackson McVey shown me he's a little more comfortable in the clinch, and I think there's going to be a lot of clinch exchanges. Seeing Jackson McVey not want to walk back and get hit with long combos, maybe want to crash into him and work in the clinch, especially because he is a solid grappler. I've seen he gets a lot of submissions from his back, very good with triangles, armbar, stuff like that. And so, let's say it does get into the clinch. I don't think Christopher Ewert's going to want to be in there, having to fight off a lot of trips, a lot of takedown entries. So maybe he's going to be on his back foot. When he's on his back foot, how good is he? Because a lot of his striking style comes off him waiting forward and going for longer combinations. I think a lot of this plays into Jackson McVey's game. And by the way, when we get a shorter, stockier guy who's usually using pressure, now having to be on the back foot, oh, the other guy's longer, 77-inch reach, 6'4". That's not that impressive for 6'4". That's like decent. Actually, no, that's solid. That's very solid. And I think that's going to fuck up Christopher Ewert. He's going to be hit at the... Honestly, I wasn't even picking off his height and reach, but that fits in even better. If Jackson McVey knows what a teep is, knows what a jab is, a little straight to the body, this fight's easy. All the other work is set there for him. He just needs some level of fundamental striking, which I think he has. And I think... it's a middleweight. It's on an early prelim. I could see this going to decision, so it's probably a fair pick. But Jackson McVey by decision isn't the worst. But whatever it is, whether it's the 29-28 or second round triangle, those would be my two picks. I think it's a Jackson McVey win. Moving on. Jhonata Diniz versus Alvin Hines. I'm not going to waste too much time on this. Alvin Hines, a little looting. You go, oh my god, this random ghost that is fighting Jhonata Diniz is 7-0. He's getting a lot of finishes on the regionals, a head kick. What is typology say? A head kick? And then you go, Alvin Hines highlights. Okay, built like a truck driver. I'll hold on the hype. Maybe the hype's in his elusive slickness. Then you watch him, and when he has some good trips here and there, sure. But it is more a fat guy getting flipped over because he can't balance on a single leg. If you know how to defend a single leg, and I think Jhonata Diniz, even though he did get fucking ran over by Martian Tybura, let's not make an excuse, he got ran over. I think he has figured out the art of fighting a single leg. Alvin Hines trained with Thomas Peterson. Woo-hoo. I mean, anyone who's bit onto that, spit it right back out. That is poison. And biting onto that, Alvin Hines and Thomas Peterson could do less of biting onto that. But Alvin Hines, you see his ground and pound when he gets those trips. Even if his ground and pound is the most soy, limp-wristed, fucking slap you upside the head. Zero. Whenever I see him going for a big finish or big ground and pound, he is already out of breath. Zero effort. Like, when you see people going ham on heavy bags on the ground, it's like, oh, this guy's ground and pound's crazy. Then you see guys like this, and it's like he's underwater. Like, what the fuck? I've been tired. I've gone 4 straight rounds of jiu-jitsu being fucking exhausted out of my mind, and I'm not throwing ground and pound like that. I stood up and I was about to pass out. I was fucking seeing stars, and I'm not throwing ground and pound. And I know I'm not 270 pounds, like this fat tank of fucking oil, but come on, bro. Like, it looks so lazy and sloppy, and if you're getting that lazy, that reckless, and when he's throwing his head kicks, his hands are nowhere where they should be. Imagine Jhonata Diniz. Oh, he throws a head kick. Pull back, jab, falls over. Jhonata Diniz, if he just sticks to fundamentals, Alvin Hines will tire himself out by round 2. I don't think there's much fight back for Jhonata Diniz as long as he plays a very safe, outside, circling heavy, keep your back off the fence, you fat tard. If he plays that style, easy win for Jhonata Diniz, probably round 2 flatline KO. Not much to talk about for Alvin Hines. 7-0 is good, but a lot of these guys get pretty the easy pass, especially in the U.S., to get a 7-0 career. Jacobe Smith, somewhat the same, but not at all, because I think all that talent is real. Even though he has fought some bums, I think Jacobe Smith's the fucking truth. Moving along, by the way, I transitioned that without saying moving on, but moving on. Jacobe Smith versus Niko Price. Some label him the dodo bird. An absolute marauder. 35. I'm honestly shocked he's 35. I thought he'd be 42 or something by now. Guy spamming strikes, and call this a bit of a throwback. I don't mean this in a weird way, but this reminds me very much of Niko Price versus Jeff Neal. I didn't know who Jeff Neal at the time was when they fought. I was like, oh, Niko Price, you got him. And then when Niko Price dropped Jeff Neal, I was like, oh, this is a big chance. Then in hindsight, reliving that fight and seeing the replays and all that, I mean, seeing this live too, Niko Price just headbutted him. That was his big moment of success. Headbutting the other guy, dropping him. Other guy recovers and fucking knocks Niko Price out on the ground. Other guy, Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal was pretty much an easy control in that fight. And what does Jeff Neal have? So, Jeff Neal is a little more stocky than Jacobe Smith, but they have the same very solid wrestling defense, very strong clinch work, where they don't offensively use it like... And I'm sure Jacobe Smith has it in his bag. But so far in the UFC, what we've seen is, especially, by the way, against Preston Parsons, who's a heavy-on wrestler, he showed very good wrestling defense, shucking him off, having a very strong base, very strong legs, very strong hips. Knows how to exit that clinch and just work with short, powerful hooks, not overcommitting. Knows how to look for the knockout without overly chasing it, if that makes sense. Not necessarily looking for the knockout, but just looking for the clean shots that he knows are going to land. Takedown actually 87%. I mean, this guy has... And when you're fighting a sloppy guy who gets into these exchanges where there are big head clashes, like I said in that Jeff Neal fight, or just a lot of clinch work, shit like that, Jacobe Smith... Sure, there's the chance the prospect gets overwhelmed by 20 clinch uppercuts, but there's also the chance that Jacobe Smith knocks out Niko Price like he did get knocked out by Robbie Lawler with that uppercut that barely looked like it even landed it landed clean, sure, but it didn't look like it had a shit ton of power on it. And I think we're gonna get a near exact replica of that knockout. Brutal uppercut or brutal check, tight left hook. I don't know, Niko Price has some nice, cool underdog wins, like, oh, he beat Morono. But those are so far spread out, and he is to the point of being so inactive. And I'm sure he has amazing excuses for it. I think he has 10 kids, something insane like that. But he has a lot of life around him, a lot of career that's already happened, a lot of damage, a lot of miles. Good Jacobe Smith, fresh young guy, not much pressure. No one knows this. This is early prelims too. Who cares, right? The world behind him, the future behind him, so much open time. He's a young guy. He's not committed, tied down to... Maybe he does have secretly 10 kids. Who knows? But Oh, I want to make a joke so bad, but I think it's just going to be, I mean, who doesn't? He's a minus 3,000 favorite is what I'm looking at. Jacobe Smith, round 1 knockout. Don't pick against it. It's a waste of money. Terrance McKinney, Viacheslav Borshchev, Slava Claus. Why does it feel like his name has become harder and harder to say the longer I've known him? I don't know, but I wanted to pick him. I wanted to say a little binky little left hook is going to chin Terrance McKinney right on the temple or the cheek or something like that. But my reason for not picking Terrance McKinney, by the way, was going to be, well, you can't bank on Terrance McKinney to get a round 1 finish at any time. But then I banked on Slava Claus to get a finish. Now, if you think of this fight, if there's no finish, and I know it's Terrance McKinney, but if there's no finish, it's... I mean, I don't see it, though. I don't see no finish happening. But if there's no finish, I think this fight, I think Terrance McKinney could win a decision. He has no card. Bro, he's just getting brutally finished every time. And I don't say brutally. I say brutally because... Okay, yeah, he did get flying kneed, horribly out cold, and Rubich nearly decapitated him. Okay, so quotations were a bit dramatic. Quotations were a bit honest. Me acting like they weren't anything was dramatic, but also some other finishes weren't as bad as I remember. Like the rear naked choke where his arm was behind his back, stuff like that. They have both fought Muhammad Naimov. Terrance McKinney getting finished by him. Viacheslav Borshchev going to decision. Out pitter-patting him at range, but then getting dropped, brutally finished in 10-8, turning into a draw. And when I think of that, but he really suffered against Fast Twitch, and think of this. If Terrance McKinney had that same knockdown, I think it's over. I think Terrance McKinney's top pressure is something else. His ability to finish from, through submissions, too, is very strong. His wrestling game is all there. And my big switch up on Viacheslav Borshchev, why I'm not picking him, is it almost feels like he has regressed in his career. I remember when he lost to Mark DeCasey, and someone DM'd him, kill yourself, bro. You're never going to be a good wrestler. You fucking ruined my... And instead of being mad at back, Viacheslav Borshchev was like, okay, I know I'm fucking up his name every time, but Slava Claus tweeted back, like, hey, man, I'm sorry. I'm trying to learn wrestling. I'm kind of new to this. And he was very nice about it. And I was like, oh, so heartfelt. I'm going to pick you next time. And then he fights again, and it looks good here, but then, can't wrestle. I think it was Mike Davis. And Mike Davis is a very tough test. So sure, write it off. It happened again with Chase Hooper. And Chase Hooper's but then how many times can we go, okay, but he was a hard test. Okay, but what if Terrance McKinney is now the new hard test? You know what I mean? How many times can we write off him getting taken down and controlled and almost submitted and shit like that? I can't anymore. And with the Chase Hooper one, Chase Hooper dropped him from range. If Chase Hooper is dropping you with long shots, Terrance McKinney really knows how to use his 1-2, especially knows how to throw in a little check hook in there. His takedown accuracy isn't as good as I thought it was going to be, honestly. But those are against a lot tougher level opponents. I think Borshchev is the safe step down in competition Terrance McKinney needed to get a win back in the UFC, back on that win streak. I think it's still a very close fight. And if Borshchev is going to be in this fight, I think it's going to be through body kicks, through jabs, through surviving into round 2 and 3. And he might be able to do it, but I just lean more Terrance McKinney. I think it's very close, but I'm leaning round 2 submission Terrance McKinney. We're going to leave round 1 and people are going to go, I don't know, man. Borshchev's a real big live underdog. I'd put my money on him. And then he's going to get submitted instantly. Some shit like that. But moving on. I almost want to say moving on instantly because I don't care about this fight. I didn't look into this fight at all. I looked into it a bit. I watched some videos on it. Viviane Araujo got in a close fight with Talia Santos. Lost her chance at the belt. She's 37. And I know that means, for some reason, absolutely nothing in WMMA, even though they're a tiny weight class. It means nothing. Don't know why, but it means absolutely nothing. We will see a 42 Holly Holm. She will take a nap for a 7-month period, completely dead as a corpse in a tomb, then crawl out the dirt, crawl out. Dana White's calling. Would you like to fight Tracy Cortez in the Apex main event? Do a full training camp, then lose at 29-28. I mean, for some reason, age means absolutely nothing. But I'm not going to pick it anyways, because, fuck, I could not be... If I have to watch Viviane Araujo fight for a belt, I don't care if she's fighting Derek Lewis for a belt. I'm not watching it. I don't know who this person is. I know who she is, but at the same time, I have not remembered a single thing she's ever said in an interview. I've never seen a single Instagram post. Never seen a single TikTok. Never seen a single edit. Never seen no shit. Zero aura, zero hype. Tracy Cortez at least got a fucking eyelash knocked out of her face against Rose Namajunas. At least she's posting on... Okay, maybe I'm not seeing her Instagrams for the same reason, but she tries to have her personality. She's going on on a live stream on Kick or Twitch with Rampage Jackson. That's something. I just spit everywhere, but that's cool. They had a fun little back and forth, or with Neon, with whoever. It's just funny, shit like that. I'm gonna pick her. Has more aura. It's gonna be 29, 28 anyways. So why not ride with the one that's more interesting? And she signed this shit. I met her. But I met 3 UFC fighters. She was the coolest I met. I met Arnold Allen. He was cool too. But he has autism. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. He wasn't. He doesn't know how to express. It's okay. I'm not being rude to Arnold Allen. But it is okay. You can't express yourself socially in any situation like that. And now I know I'm talking to a computer. And I do share the same amount of autism. But Tracy Cortez is a cool fellow. And I showed her that and she's like, oh, cool. She like even fucking complimented it. As if she ain't living the life as a UFC fighter. I don't know, they don't get paid as much, so I don't know why I said living the life, but Tracy Cortez is cool, so hopefully she wins. Hyder Amil versus Jose Miguel Delgado. I don't know why I tried for the middle name. I already can't speak myself, but Hyder Amil. Look at my YouTube profile picture. You think I'm gonna pick against Hyder Amil? See, now I almost switched up. I'm gonna be honest. I'm pretty weirdly unbiased, even though I glaze a lot of these guys. I will usually pick against the guy I want to win, just cause in my head it's win-win, right? Either the guy I want to win or I got my pick right. But also, Hyder Amil is 35, and it kind of sucks to pick a 35-year-old. But you look at Hyder Amil. I think William Gomez is such a good win, but I'm gonna start a train of thought. You have to follow me the whole way through, okay? Jose Delgado KO'd the guy with the rat tail on the Contender Series. He was an 8-1 favorite. Sure. Oh, that's a big, crazy underdog win from Jose Delgado. Look at this guy. When you check that guy's record, he KO'd with it was a very well-timed knee. A guy ducking down, you read it perfectly, kneed him, KO'd him. But knee KOs where you duck in are sometimes 1 in a million. It's hard to bank on, but it's a very good win. I'm not going to take away from it. But I am, because then you look at that guy's record, it's a shit record. I don't know if I'm confusing with someone else, but when you look at it, I think he beat an 0-10 guy by knockout, then beat a fucking 9-11 guy by knockout, some shit like that. Then he fights finally a guy with any bit of experience that isn't complete shit. Goes to decision. Oh, knocks out another guy who's fucking 5-3. Goes to decision. Shit like that. And then everyone has him as the favorite because he's 8-0, but he's beating a bunch of tomato cans. And Jose Delgado fights him. Finishes him easy, because of course. Okay. Let's calm it down, because that's just the Contender Series, bro. Just a Contender Series. Gotta bank it off his real level UFC caliber wins. Okay, what was his name? Connor Matthew? Let's talk about Connor Matthew. 0-4, all losses by finish. Already a fucking bitter taste in my mouth. But let's keep going. What else about Connor Matthew? Connor Matthew, in his last fight, was supposed to fight this Cuban fellow that I can't remember the name, but he looked like a pretty good prospect. They were scheduled. Cuban guy was 8-0, but the odds were still pretty even, because who the fuck was this Cuban guy, right? A random guy debuting, not coming off from a good fight scene. This might be a close fight. Maybe Connor Matthews a little better than I remember. This random Cuban guy comes in, fucking picks up Connor Matthews, completely outstrikes him, picks him up, dunks him down, takes his back, chokes him out instantly. Zero effort. Jose Delgado did finish him, but of course, I saw a fly on the wall, and it went, I finished Connor Matthews. Search it up on tap. It was true. Fly on the wall versus Connor Matthews, round 1 KO. It's faster than Jose Delgado. I'm not picking this guy. He's beating nobodies. And now, I'm not saying he can't beat Hyder Amil. That's not my point. I still think he has very good knockout power. And when I was watching his tape, a lot of he did catch guys really good. He was dropping guys and they were going fucking out, right? Like, not out instantly. A ground and pound shot extra would help. But you look at a lot of his KOs, he's corralling guys. And sure, there was one here and there that wasn't that, but most of them are him pressuring a guy, getting him against the fence, then panicking, getting hit with a big shot, not knowing what to do when they're put on their back foot, not having good movement. He has good ground game, but then again, when you watch his fucking submissions, I can't remember what one of them was, but I remember the rear naked choke I saw was 1 hook in. The other guy was just waiting. Motherfucker, use your hips. Use your hips. You weren't born with 2 arms. Are you a fucking nugget? You got legs, dude? Use your hips. Yes, 1 hook in. You didn't just get fucking choked out. He's on your back. Who cares? Move. I sound like a cow. Move. But yeah, those are Jose Delgado's qualities. That's what I've seen from. Well, we see Hyder Amil. William Gomez shits on Jose Delgado's entire resume. William Gomez is an insane win. Was 5-0 in the UFC at times. And when you were going to pick a style who goes against Hyder Amil, fucking marauding in, duck your head down, any who pushes a crazy pace like Chepe Mariscal, some shit like that, right? If you were to pick a guy who would counter that, a guy with good knees, good timing, good movement, good teeps to keep you off, clashing things like spinning elbows or regular elbows that'll keep you off, all shots like that, William Gomez used in the fight, high fight IQ, kept the pace with Hyder Amil, and still wasn't enough. And by the way, when we're talking about Jose Delgado got a good ground game, so does Hyder Amil. The fucking random jiu-jitsu guy that Hyder Amil had to fight, I can't remember his name, but the guy he had to fight, fucking Hyder Amil was the one going for submissions in it. Or when we talk about the William Gomez fight, both of them landed 100 and something strikes. If you want to call it a robbery, sure. I don't care because there were extremely close rounds. I think William Gomez clearly had the second. Hyder had either the first or I think he had the third, and the first was it was either the first or the third. That was a 50-50 round. But you could give it to either guy. It just looked very visually good for the, by the way, pebble-brained judges who can't score a fight. If one guy's walking forward, they're going to pick him. So I understand why they'd pick Hyder Amil. But Delgado is the favorite. And I just don't get why. I don't get what he's proven. Oh, he has a very flashy style. And Hyder Amil just trudges forward with a big head, and he's 35. By the way, not to glaze, Hyder Amil got his degree first before becoming a UFC fighter. And I complain, motherfucker, I picked you and you're dumb as a rock. Hyder Amil has shown us, hey guys, I have an IQ, and maybe it didn't look like it, the way he fought William Gomez. But maybe when you think about it, how else are you supposed to fight William Gomez, the king of jab, pitter-pat, tit for tat, jab to the body, jab to the... You are not going to outrange him fighting the lanky man's game. You have to be on the inside, especially of a lot quicker guy. You're not going to let him get his quick jab off in circle. You have to be in there for the longer combos where you can exchange back, and Hyder Amil played that perfectly. I don't think he'll fight the same fight, trudging forward, fighting like an ape. I think he could play the outside a little safer, even though the Jose Delgado still has the reach advantage. I don't think Jose Delgado is the quickness of a guy like William Gomez. He has more power, and I think he'll be getting more respect on the feet. But I think the takedowns, the pace, especially if we get in the third round, Hyder Amil has proven he could. I'm not saying Jose Delgado can't push a pace. Motherfucker, I'm not going to make it anything a little sus, but I think he can push a pace. But I think Hyder Amil can push a better one. And I'm going to glaze Hyder Amil, so don't 100% bank on what I'm saying. But I just think he's a solid underdog. And I'm going to keep glazing until the day he dies. Jacobe Hermansson versus Gregory Robocop Rodrigues. Gregory Rodrigues, I think, is going to win this fight. I don't think there's much to talk about this. Class is in session. Go get into character, bro. Class is in session. I hand you... Students, one question to pop quiz. If you get it right, you pass the entire course. You get your test. It says... Who was Jack Hermansson's last opponent? Who was the opponent before Joe Pyfer? If you can't answer, you have to kill yourself. You're killing yourself. I'm going to be honest. It was Roman Delite, but off memory, if there was no fight week, I'm not knowing that at all. It was in 2022. That's why. Because what the fuck? That was 3 years coming on. No, I think it's almost coming on 4. I think it was in December. It was pretty late in the year, but still had a lot of time off in between that. He is now 37, and you see their stats. You would think their significant strikes landed per minute would be nowhere near even, because you think of Gregory Rodrigues, what he does, he fucks people up. Excuse me. They're bleeding like crazy, right? I'm trying so hard not to choke on the spit, but Jacobe Hermansson, on the other end, you see, oh, he gave that guy a real bruise on the forehead. Oh, he has a knot in his calf, does he? A jab to the body? He might be feeling that tomorrow, like little marks. But all that shit is actually difference in damage. When they go to exchange jabs, Gregory Rodrigues, you might think he's just eating at a buffet. You look at Jacobe Hermansson, he's stumbled across the octagon when he's taking Gregory Rodrigues jabs. I think this, honestly, the difference this comes down to is level of maraud, level of power they carry. I think it's completely basic. There's not much craftiness level goes into picking this fight. I think both the wrestling styles completely negate each other. Jacobe Hermansson sure might here there land a crafty little trip because he has a lot more craft than Gregory Rodrigues, but don't doubt Gregory Rodrigues. Don't doubt his craft level. But I do think when it comes to beating Gregory Rodrigues, you have to have a level of power. You have to have a level of stopping power where it goes, stop pressuring me. Give me time to reset. Clubbing straight. Okay, now I get to circle out. Regain the center of the octagon. Land a teep. And sure, Jack Hermansson has those teeps. Has those jabs. But I think Gregory Rodrigues is okay to eat a 1-2 just to get on the inside. And I can see him getting cracked a bit and wobbling like he did in the Iron Turtle, the park fight. Gregory Rodrigues got hurt and had to back up, but he just weathered the storm, ate a bunch of shots, then just countered back. And Jack Hermansson has been hurt, has been put away by Jared Cannonier. And by the way, they both fought Jared Cannonier. And I think Jack Hermansson fought maybe a better version, but he also got finished pretty instantly in that fight. Compared to Gregory Rodrigues going in a pretty back and forth war where Jared Cannonier was ahead, especially going to that fourth round. But I think the writing's on the wall with this one. Gregory Rodrigues, I don't think it's maybe if it's a finish, it's round 3 ground and pound kind of thing where it's a long war, sloppy fight where both are hurt, but probably 29, 28, 30, 27, Gregory Rodrigues. Jack Hermansson's going to try to run circles, but they're not going to be fast enough. Moving on, this fight I am so excited to talk about because I think it's so split down the middle. I have been jumping fucking ship every second. I've probably switched my pick 9-10 times on this today. I'm going with Payton Talbott. I'm calling it. I think it's a nice crafty underdog pick. Felipe Lima. I think most of what I'm going to say, I'm going to try to make it quick because I've been talking a lot in this video. Most of my pick comes down to that Miles Johns performance. In hindsight, I wasn't too impressed. And a shorter, stockier guy who's... And by the way, you look at Miles Johns' career, it's a pretty underrated. He's gotten hurt and had some bad losses here or there. Like, John Castaneda is not good of a loss. But before fighting Felipe Lima, he was 5-2 in the UFC, which is a lot better than what I thought it was for some reason. But Felipe Lima fights him, and sure, pretty clearly wins the first round, has some good grappling exchanges, and I wish he did go to the grappling a little more. But he was pretty easily read. And once Miles Johns made the change, which, by the way, I think Payton Talbott is really good at, making live changes mid-fight, making pre-fight reads even of what you're going to do, comes into the fight very prepared. And which, by the way, this picture of Felipe, off topic already, this picture of Felipe Lima has more charisma than Payton Talbott does this entire fight week. Fuck off. How did it feel to be in Frank Ocean music video? Well, it wasn't... Actually, it wasn't a music video. The cinema stands. They give him a round of applause. Standing ovation longer than the labyrinth. Fucker, okay. A 30-second short snippet where it was a video with music. Video with music in the back. Video with a music video. Oh my god. Oh wow, really. What did it feel like to get that more attention? Probably felt like what a polar bear felt like, man. Probably just like, oh, all you guys are looking at me? Okay. Like, I think he's going to win, but that pissed me off. He's going to make me do a backflip right now. But Payton Talbott, I just see, like, the knees are there. Felipe Lima's a shorter guy. His striking, Miles Johns made the adjustment, and Felipe Lima he made some adjustments back. But it was a lot of back and forth work where there was rounds that felt really close in that fight where Payton Talbott just got beat up really bad and shown levels in the wrestling against a guy like Hany Barcelos. Hany Barcelos is on a different level. I think talk about a guy who has some fucking losses that aged well. Umar lost. Got KO'd pretty bad by Umar. And there's another loss, but you look since then, he also beat Cody Garbrandt, who is a lot better of a win than Miles Johns. And think of this. If Payton Talbott had to fight Miles Johns, who's your pick right now? It's Payton Talbott, right? But how do you think he gets it done? Because Felipe Lima versus Miles Johns, going into that fight, the perception was Felipe Lima is going to run through him. He already beat Muhammad Naimov up a weight class. This is easy. Felipe Lima is a monster. Now Felipe Lima down a weight class, fighting at his skill level compared to going up and, the skill being a little different. This division's not as good. I know. Letterman skill, sure, I'm stretching it a bit, but if you had to have Payton Talbott against Miles Johns, I'm picking a knee KO starching him out cold, and you could run that Ronnie Barcelos fight back another 10 times and have my eyes open like clockwork orange and watching it over and over again. I'm still picking Payton Talbott to KO Miles Johns. And I think we're going to see the same thing. I think we're going to get some shaky moments when Payton Talbott gets taken down. But a lot of the Ronnie Barcelos fight up until the end, he wasn't taking chances. He was just controlling Payton Talbott. And sure, maybe that's because he wants to just get a secured win. He's coming off a loss before that, blah, 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 whatever. But it only up until the end was Ronnie Barcelos really opening up with opportunities, going for some big ground and pound shots where maybe Payton Talbott's muscles weren't as primed and spring chicken-like to push off Ronnie Barcelos and have those big opportune moments. Well, we look at maybe early on in the fight, if Barcelos goes for moments like that, Payton Talbott can work himself work himself up to his feet. Up. I don't know why I started freaking out there, but if we see Felipe Lima get him down early, I don't think Payton Talbott's in much trouble. I think, by the way, Payton Talbott's going to be very much looking for Felipe Lima. When is he ducking in? What's his head movement patterns when he's looking for a takedown? What is he using to set up the takedown? Oh, I can chop down his... I don't know if leg kicks are going to be as much in this fight, but I think his range is going to be another big thing. Not that it's so much longer, but it's just there. His switch stance is very helpful when you're trying to fight a wrestler. If you're trying to match lead leg with lead leg, fight for outside foot position, shit like that, but keeping your range is very helpful with the switch stance, shit like that. What's the other thing? Oh, also, his age. Both of them are very young, but Felipe Lima, sure, going to decision, a lot to learn from that. But I think Payton Talbott has been gifted a lot more to learn. He's taken a lot more time off. And by the way, when we saw Payton Talbott fraud checked against Ronnie Barcelos, what did we see? We saw his wrestling. That's it. We didn't see a massive, holy shit, zero cardio. Any guy can run through it. I can pick any guy to beat him now. No, we just saw anyone with solid fundamental grappling, who knows how to mix it up, disguise it well. And by the way, Ronnie Barcelos, look at him. He's fucking, like, what, 35? That's decades of experience in his fucking... By the way, like, how many time how many time wrestling champ in Brazil was he? The accolades he has, Felipe Lima can't touch, if we're being honest. All of those on top of each other from that crafty man skill that an older guy like Ronnie Barcelos has, where it's like, hey, I'm very comfortable with shifting my weight because I'm done wrestling this many years, right? Just the level of craft he has. That's what that loss was. Okay, I am coping, actually, when I say that's what that loss was. That loss was a very, very poised and very locked-in win from Ronnie Barcelos, but I think also Payton Talbott has learned a lot. And for a guy who took off so much time to fight Giannis Gamori, right, into his Ronnie Barcelos fight, we're seeing a quicker turnaround because I think he's confident. I think he's ready. He took this fight. Payton Talbott's going to be on this card. We don't know his opponent. He got Felipe Lima. Cool. Who gives a fuck? I think he's ready. I think he's confident. And I think nothing's scaring him down. I'm not saying this is going to be a clear, easy win for Payton Talbott. I think it's going to be very close. And it's going to be a very fun fight. And I'm very glad this is on the main card because both these guys have very bright futures. Payton Talbott round 2 KO from a knee. Boom! I'm double down on it. I don't know why, but Beneil Dariush versus Renato Moicano. Dariush, this is a double-edged sword because on one end we have Dariush wins. He's gonna want to continue fighting, and honestly, I think Dariush is such a beautiful. He's had such a beautiful career. I don't think he needs to do much more to prove anything. I think he's a very nice guy, and it's just sad watching him get knocked out. And I'm glad he's on a positive career. If this is a big loss, it's over. Good for you. Have your shit set before you're fighting, like Poirier, knowing this is gonna be my last one. Let's throw down. That being said, if Beneil Dariush wins and keeps going, and he just gets brutally KO'd by a higher up level guy, I don't want to see it. So I almost kind of want him to lose, but I think Benny's gonna win. I'm picking him. There's some, like, Renato Moicano beat up Benoit Saint-Denis really bad. I'm not gonna talk about the Islam fight at all. I think it proves nothing. But he made a pretty rookie mistake in there. I think the bright lights got to him a bit, and maybe there's a chance of this happening. But that's all I really got from that fight. But talking about that Benoit fight, Benoit has a absolute horrible tell on body kicks and has no defense on after throwing the body kick into getting taken down. Moicano waited, baited out his body kick, grabbed it, taking him down. It was so easy. I saw a breakdown on how obvious it was when he was about to throw the body kick. He has pretty bad tells for his striking. Moicano read it, controlled him on the ground as he is a top game dominator. Gets on top, dominates him, cuts his face open, stands back up. Round 2 happens, which I don't know how round 2 happens, but then has an even striking fight. What? The fuck do you mean has an even striking fight? I've seen Dariush fight better grappler, a person who is also a better grappler and a better striker in Moicano, that being Gamrot. Now, different size, sure, but completely better striker and grappler to me. And still lose. Get out scrambled, get out control. Oh, how about the Charles fight? in the grappling, we saw Beneil had better moments. I'm not talking about the striking on the ground. Void the striking. The positional control was there for Beneil Dariush. He did a very good job of getting on top of Charles. Now, I'm not taking out that he was the better grappler in that fight. I'm just saying he did very strong. He was very strong in the wrestling, and I very much like to see that, especially going into a fight like Renato Moicano, where he is just Charles Oliveira light, if we're being honest. Now, Moicano, too. What big tools does he have against Dariush? His jab, keeping it at range, right? Oh, wait, they have the same reach. Oh, how about nothing, right? So he has a very strong jab. He likes using his straight punches a lot. What does Dariush have really strong? An overhand, that drop camera. What the fuck happened to Moicano when he fought the Korean Zombie? I know I'm stretching. I know this is a featherweight fight. What happened? Kept throwing his jab like he likes to. He likes throwing it in this consistent feeling out. He keeps it in a rhythm. That is so bad for people with very strong overhands. Because think of this. Oh, I'm feeling you. Oh, I'm feeling you. Oh, there's the overhand because you threw it 3 times in a row. You have to fucking throw it off tempo. You have to reach it off time. You can throw some slower, some faster. Shit like that. You can't keep a consistent rhythm with your overhand. With your jab. People are going to time it with an overhand. People are going to duck under for a takedown. And, maybe Moicano wants that. Not against a guy like Dariush. The shit I saw Dariush control in that Gamrot fight was otherworldly. It was insane. I was so impressed. And Dariush, sure, he got flatlined by Armin. I almost want to call the Armin one a bit of a fluke. Because I think Dariush is chinny. But not to that extent. Like, Moicano does have good power, but I think Dariush is he's going to run back the clock. We're going to get another Gamrot win where you go, this guy's still in it. And then he's going to get KO'd by Hooker or something. But I think we're at the level where Dariush is still going to get another solid win. Also, orthodox for Southpaw. Fighting at range more. So he's going to be able to be fighting the outside battle and choosing when he wants in versus out. And not being in a inside position where he's going for a lot of insider trading. No, not going for a lot of, let's get close, throw tight hooks, because our feet are, when it's opposite stance, it's just easier to use your footwork. Easier to say, let's fight on the, it's like you're fighting a smaller battle. The outside foot position. Let's get a feel for our jabs. Let's throw an oblique. Shit like that's happening on the outside. When we're on the inside, we're going for, tight hook. Oh, fuck. He threw his tight little hook. Gonna duck, gonna go for big over. I'm going on into nothing. Because I'm acting like they're going to be switched to set. No, that's orthodox for Southpaw. I think that's even safer for Beneil. 30-27, Beneil Dariush. Easy win. See, now, this fight's going to pain me. Because I love Joshua Van. I do not want to see him lose. But that's what we're going to see, if I'm being honest. The Joshua Van, very strong style. We saw very much improved Joshua Van in his last fight, too. But when the grappling got brought in, he still had a very good win. But it wasn't as good as you'd want it to be, right? So, let's talk about Joshua Van's career. I can't remember who he fought. I'm going to bring up his career real quick. So, look at this. We have who cares about this? Zhalgas Zhumagulov, who split decision merchant. That guy, the Kazakhstan guy who's gone to split decision with everyone. Mediocre win. Kevin Borjas, who he's coming off a win now, but I think he lost like 3 or 4 in a row after this. Mediocre win. Felipe Boons. Who? Mediocre win. Lost to Charles Johnson. Not even an impressive loss. Mediocre loss. Charles Johnson has lost a fair bit in that since then. And by the way, that fight was 1-1 going into the third, and Charles Johnson was the guy to be pushing it harder in the third, which I didn't like. Edgar Chairez. I think Edgar Chairez is better than we think currently, but still, mediocre win. Cody Durden, mediocre win, especially since then. Ray Saruya was undefeated at the time and maybe will age well, but so far, mediocre win. Bruno Silva, proven a mediocre win, was on a 4-fight finishing streak, but has pretty embarrassing losses outside of that. So we have all those mediocre wins. Now we look at, so if we have a lot of mediocre wins, you have to have Brendan Royval at least losing to some lower level guys, right? Like someone who isn't top level. Let's talk about Royval losses. Pantoja, Moreno from injury, and then redeemed that Moreno loss over a 3-round or a 5-round decision. Royval works really well in 5 rounds, but the style from him that works really well 5 rounds, I think translates perfectly to 3 rounds because it is not a 5 rounds of, I come on late, I turn on my style late. He is a reactive guy when it comes to decisions. And what I mean by that is when he fought Moreno that second time, when he was down rounds 1 and round 2, He then, round 3, sets a different tone, sets a different pace. Round 4, it is still in that same reaction he had in round 3 of, hey, I'm still behind. Need to tie it up. Okay, round 5, same shit. Still behind. And that goes what I said to him. He's like, hey, it sounds like it's a guy that's coming on late. Is there better proof than a guy who... Oh, how about the fight he just got into? Fuckhead. What was that guy's name? Not Race but Tetsuro Taira. That might be a little racist, but Tetsuro Taira. Fights Tetsuro Taira. Round 1 outstrikes him pretty clearly, but it's kind of getting our feel on the feet. He's working his straight. Doesn't have to go to next level. Round 2, gets controlled on the ground. We're 1-1. What do I need to do to go, this guy can't be on me like that. I need to set a different precedent. React fucking heavy. Sets the tone super high. Hurts him pretty bad. When he gets on top, still constantly throwing strikes. Separates again. By the way, instead of just controlling this round with the straight, which, by the way, he still did use the straight very heavily. Now he worked around it. That straight that was still working, now it's coming with hooks. Now, oh, you think it's a straight? Oh, now it's a clashing knee because you're looking for a takedown. Oh, now I'm going for my little shorter shots because you want to find the inside. Oh, you're looking for the takedown? Now I'm back on the outside looking for my jab. Very reactive. Round 4 happens. He gets controlled again. Well, I need to set a different precedent because he caught on to what I was doing in that 3rd round. Completely resets the style again. Completely changes it. Wins a round in a very, very clear way like he did before, but a different style. I think he has a very adaptive, very reactive style that I love to see in this fight. And fuck, look how he fought Kai Kara-France. When it gets into a brawl, when he gets hurt, he doesn't back down either. He throws right back. And by the way, when we talk about ground game, who's Joshua Van, I'm sure it's there. He has waist that nearly touch the ground, so I'm sure he can scramble pretty heavy. But Royval is very much proven. He went on the ground multiple times with Pantoja. Sure, he got submitted the first time. Showed he improved. Was live in the second fight. Got taken down multiple times. Did not get submitted once. Now, he did get smudged and controlled, but there was not much. He wasn't taking any damage at all. When this gets to the ground, and by the way, in that Tetsuro Taira where he did get controlled again, he still proved, hey, I'm not taking any damage. I can wait out here. And by the way, when I'm on top, I am doing damage. He has pretty solid offensive grappling. We saw him guillotine Kai Kara-France too. I think Royval is going to get this one done. And I'm not even talking about the range that presented itself a problem in the Charles Johnson fight for Joshua Van. In that 3rd round, he got dropped by a long rangey, it was either an uppercut or a 1-2, walking backward. Joshua Van was trying to pressure in. Or no, I think Charles Johnson, someone was pressuring the other person though. But I think Charles Johnson was walking forward and hit him with the straight. Something like that. I'm a little lost in the sauce right now, but I think Brandon Royval, pretty clear win. With a guy who has a very strong straight, I think that's going to fuck up Joshua Van. Joshua Van, I think, is going to be dipping his head right, dipping his head right, left, trying to go look for big hooks around the straight, and I really hope he could not. How much fucking cinema would it be Joshua Van, Alexander Pantoja title fight if Joshua Van has good grappling? Which I think he's proven a bit in the Raceria fight. And I think that grappling is not going to be coming into talks about this fight that much. I think this is going to be fight of the night easy for Brandon Royval, Joshua Van. But if Joshua Van gets to fight Pantoja, fight of the century. It is either fight of the century or most boring fight of the decade. One of the two, but I think Joshua Van's insane heart will probably make a fight of the century. Same with Pantoja, though. But moving on, Pantoja, KKF, Kai Kara-France. Pantoja... I saw Lucas Tracy make a pretty cool point about this. 35. Going for the curse. Pretty cool, but... I mean, this is a Pantoja win, right? Kai Kara-France lost to the Ultimate Fighter Pantoja. Not much gets shown in that fight. That was before Kai Kara-France fought at City Kickboxing. That was before Pantoja got that confidence of a champ, right? He wasn't the belly. He is not a multiple-time defender. But you watch. Especially how he beat... I think... oh my god, all these names I'm fucking... Was it Kaya Sakura? They got that. Yeah, Kaya Sakura was the guy that got signed. Is now fighting Tim Elliott for some reason. But Kaya Sakura gets signed to the UFC. Pantoja fighting him for the belt. How does this fight go? Pantoja ducks into a flying knee, by the way, which I'm not confident Kai Kara-France has a flying knee game. I think he just has very solid boxing, and that's going to be his main point of offense. And actually, I'll get to what's going to work for him later, but Pantoja gets hit with a solid knee, waits. Gets hit with it, fucking eats it, waits. Getting into this fight, going nice blitzing hooks, and what he does amazingly, he's not trying to set up his shit from the range, he's not trying to let you get a feel for when he feels in, when he feels out. He's not pumping a jab too heavy. He's just feeling it off When am I gonna blow? When am I gonna push? He waits for a slight little muscle. Boom! Nice little left hook. Nice little right hook. Nice little blitzing combinations. And you see Tom Aspinall break this down on his YouTube channel. What Pantoja does beautifully is he will enter hook, body shot, in on a single leg. The single leg's not there. Into a back. Oh, the back take's not working. You're already defending a hook. Oh, you're already focused with these hooks again because you thought I was gonna take down. Oh, I'm not. Oh, you're overloaded with this. Oh, I jumped on your back. You weren't paying it. I was going for a 5-step plan and you were still on step 3, right? Pantoja overwhelms guys with these longer exchanges, and Kakar France does good in longer exchanges, but he also likes to set his shit up. He likes to pump off the jab. He likes to get his right hand set up off his jab. He likes framing a lot, feeling where you are, going over top of your shoulder with a big shape, and I think that'll work in round 4 and 5. But in early rounds, and by the way, Kakar France, we saw get submitted by Royval. We saw get his back taken multiple times by Amir Halbazi, who was not as good as we thought he was. Even though, he had the back surgery. He got an excuse from now. I think Amir Halbazi is not as good as we think he is. Askarov. I think they went to a draw. No, Kakar France retired him from a split decision, some shit like that. But Askarov, that fight, Kakar France wins, but a lot of that fight he could have lost. A lot of that fight was Askarov on his back. And none of these guys hold a fucking candle to what Pantoja can do when he's on your back. He gets on your back and you're fighting for your life. And he's on your back, you're sucked to the ground, and that round's over. Second he's on your back, that round's over. Even if he's controlled, that round's over. Oh, next round restarts. Oh, you're a bit fatigued. You can't let it happen. You're predetermined on, can't let this guy hold on to me. Oh my god, his jiu-jitsu, and this is, by the way, why Steve Ursig did so good. His jiu-jitsu is insanely underrated. He could fight off Pantoja scrambles, wouldn't settle for back takes, wouldn't do any of that shit, and then when they stood up, pretty even on the striking, got to use his range. This fight, Kakar France does not have the range. He has an 1.5 reach advantage. Who gives a fuck? He's shorter. He does not have the range. Does he have the jiu-jitsu? Not at all. No offense. Oh, they could fly Craig Jones out. Who gives a shit? Pantoja's gonna get on his back no matter what. And the next round comes, Pantoja, you're thinking about the boom, Baycock. You shook to your core. Oh, he kind of hurt me. I gotta respect him. I'm kind of feeling the pressure. I'm in the clinch. He's pushing me. Oh my god, it's a double leg now. I thought the guy only knew trips. I thought he only knew back to. Oh, and next round it's a back to. And now, now you know. Now all that's happened is you're down 2 and you're down 3 rounds. Now you're desperate. Now we need a finish. Now I need something big in this fight. Now I'm looking for something big, and the takedowns present themselves even more. Fighting Alexander Pantoja is a slippery slope. If you don't present yourself as a threat early, if you don't have this guy losing rounds early, if you don't have this guy second guessing himself early, if you give up early rounds against him, you have lost this fight. You have to come on early. This guy is a crazy heart, crazy pace, crazy chin, and you need to have him respecting you. And if you can't do that early, you're cooked, son. Talking about cooked, Ilia Topuria is running over Charles Oliveira. And now, I was pretty 50-50 on this fight. I thought this could go either way going into it. Now that it's in hindsight, I think Charles Oliveira is done for. I think his time has come. I think his time as the top is coming near the end. He's 35 versus a fresh 28. Ilia Topuria, I'm biting into the glaze. They said his reaction time's better. I'm falling for it. His wrestling's there. I don't think he's going to be shooting on Charles, but I think he's going to feint it. I think he's just going to be forcing him. Just, hey, think about it. And what's made me convinced is you watch the recent fights of either guy. If Armin does that to Charles, do you not think Ilia can? If we're being honest. If a guy who trains with Graham, no, I'm joking. I'm not being that guy. But a guy who trains with, or who knows Hamzat. I think knowing Hamzat probably boosts your grappling by 1%. Just 1%. Let me fucking troll without a little too much flame, but he does train with Morab. That's the bigger one. That crazy pace. By the way, Ili's not cutting as much. By the way, he's added muscle mass. By the way, he's a short, stocky guy that's gonna be hard to take down. And sure, Charles Oliveira just proved he can take down and take the back of guys like Michael Chandler. Are we comparing Ilia Topuria to Michael Chandler? How about if we compare a more stocky guy like Armin? How many times did Charles Oliveira have Armin's back or control him or outstrike him? 0. Let's be honest. The big Charles Oliveira had moments in that fight, and it was a very close fight. I'm not saying it's a very close, very one-sided fight where Armin dominated him. I think it was a very close fight. Charles Darce in the third, Charles guillotine in the first, and the strikes he was working with in round 1 I think were a little better too. Round 2 I think was pretty clear Armin, pretty clear domination. Not dominate, but one-sided, but not domination, if that makes sense. And when we're seeing stuff like that, do you really think Ilia Topuria can't ride in Charles Oliveira's guard? Beneil did it. Beneil took damage for it, but Beneil did it. There's already... Armin did it. It's already been laid out how to do it. Michael Chandler survived all 5 rounds without getting finished and had Charles on his back multiple times. I think the game plan has been written out on how to survive Charles Oliveira's offensive jiu-jitsu when it just comes to that. Now, when it comes to spur of the moments, transitional submissions that are coming out of nowhere, Charles Oliveira still is king of that. But when it comes to we're in a stagnant position of guard and he's throwing an armbar or he's throwing a triangle, I don't think those are as crazy. Or when you have my back and you're starting to threaten a choke, I don't think that's as crazy. But I dropped Gaethje and now we're transitioning from an armbar to a fucking back take, rear naked choke. That's still live, and that's still a good pick if you're banking on that. But, and sure, Charles Oliveira has his keeps. He's very strong. And what I think is going to be strong in this is his clinch work. Him using the tag clinch and going for knees to the body, knees to the head. But what I think will make that work is a longer round 3, round 4, round. When this is coming to the later rounds and Charles Oliveira starts to bully him, starts to use his size more effectively. But are we getting to rounds 3, 4, and 5? And are those rounds coming out? Or the heavy knees from Charles Oliveira? And by the way, we saw in that Poirier fight that laid out perfectly. Not so much the bigger guy bullying the smaller guy, but the longer we go into this fight, I can use my sides. I can really start crushing you and breaking your spirit, using my back take against the fence, my clinch work against the fence, my knees, my little short shoveling shots before entering the clinch, things like that. But now, click off the video if you're not ready for the Ilia glaze. But now comes the round 1, round 2, early on. Now here comes the why isn't my clinch work? What Charles Oliveira? Sure, his clinch work burns round 3. How about rounds 2 and round 1 when the footwork is live, when the fucking lateral movement has no idea where Charles Oliveira to follow? I think Charles Oliveira, a lot of his grappling work will need to be pushing Ilia against the fence. How did that work for Volk? One of the guys with the greatest movement. Holloway, amazing boxing, amazing movement too. Both amazing strikers in their own right. Both completely different styles though. I'm going to break down both those fights and after that explain why I think Charles has no chance when we break down those fights. I think both those guys are way higher level than Charles. Not way higher level than Charles, but think of this. Volkanovski fights Islam. Everyone's counting him out. Fight happens. Oh my god. Letterman's skill is real. The divisional gap's not as big as I think. These Letterman are really good. What Volk did to Islam compared to what Ilia did to Charles, Volk ran so Ilia could run. Volk got a close decision so Ilia could uppercut flatline KO Charles all around round 1. So, we watched the Volkanovski fight, and Ilia's trying to pressure him. Nice little leg kicks back and forth. Ilia lands some leg kicks. Volk lands some leg kicks. Volk is throwing a lot. This is not called a switch kick. It's not the... You're planted on your rear leg. You flick up your lead leg really fast. It's not the switch kick where you step back and you fucking blade and you whip it up. It's you're on your foot. You just flick up your kick. It's a different name, but it is almost the same style. There's a slight switch in the footwork. Volkanovski was consistently doing it very well, throwing the kick very fast, but Ilia was still having enough pressure to make Volk not use it too much. The kicks weren't working too much. And I know Volk was overly focused on his defense, so it's not a fair assessment to prime Volk, but Volk working on his defense, using a lot of outside movement. And for a guy with such insane movement, Ilia was still able to corral him against the fence, use his leg kick, use his boxing, use some body shots, use some leg hooks. And when he got him against the fence, didn't matter if it was prime Volk. Didn't matter if it's prime Kelvin Gastelum chin. Doesn't matter if it's... Who's another insane chin? Blockhead of the century, Drew Jober. Hyder Amil early on the card. Whose chin you want to name? When you have a left hook, cocked, nice, and landing a big combo, and you see the neck snap like that, don't matter who the fuck you're hitting. Someone's neck snapping like that, you're down dead. I don't care what version of Volkanovski that was. Okay, sure. He beat an all-time great. He can't finish another all-time. Enter Max Holloway. We have the Max Holloway fight, and Max Holloway does a lot of good things differently. He uses his kicks too. Some nice jumping, spinning kicks, some nice jabs, nice straights. Not necessarily throwing the 1-2 to get Ilia off. Still using some nice combination work, but it's a lot of shot, off time straight, off time little check hook. A lot of nice back and forth boxing. I had the fight going 1-1 going into the third. But what does Ilia still do? He finds his way on the inside, even though he's fighting a longer guy. I think like both. I think Volk actually is not too much longer than Ilya, but fighting a longer guy. Still finds his way on the inside, using a lot of head movement, using a lot of leg kicks to slow down his opponent. And then, using big hooks. And, which side is he throwing? Nice combination punching. You think the combo's done there? Big shot here. Now he cracks Max. And what does he do? He doesn't bum rush him. He knows his fucking timing. He knows to, play it slow. Max is still hurt. He hurt them. I think it's still another 20 seconds. That exchange goes on 15 seconds where he's not rushing that finish. He's still following Max, chasing him to the octagon. He's hurt. He's overreacting off his movement. He's pulling back too much. He's going to corral himself. All line little pitter-pat shots here. Still to keep him dazed, still to keep him hurt. Build up this round. He's against the fence now. Perfect technique. Torque from the hips. Torque from the knee. All turned into nice back rotation to the left hook. Max all the way down. First guy to ever do it. And if we're getting KO of the century after KO of the century, KO again after KO, like, these are highlight reel insane KOs for Charles Oliveira, who's on a bit of a career slide. I think this all points to an easy Ilya KO. But what do you think? How shit are my picks this week? I don't know. I think I did pretty good. I think I'm going 14-0, 14-0 like I do every week. But let me know. I think I have pretty good reasons, but any Charles Glazers, any mutant Kaikar France little dwarf Glazers, jump in, debate me in the comments. But those have been my picks for UFC 317. I'm hyped. I can't wait to do my reaction to this. Not card of the century, but definitely a very still well-rounded, very nice stacked card. Also, fuck John Jones. Have a sick retirement. Just kidding. Try not to get too many DUIs. Peace out.